All right, story number two. Story number two. Big shout out to Redman from Brick City. 1 second applause. That's where I was born. Vailsburg, represent. Redman's Muddy Waters 2 is finally available. We've been waiting on this album, feels like 13 years. Feels like 13, 14 years we've been waiting on Muddy Waters 2. And, you know, I listened to it and I love it. I think it shows a lot of progression from the Redman that I think I grew up loving. Most of us probably grew up knowing and loving. But at the same time, it's still representative of all the things we know and love about Redman. And so Redman actually sat down with Ambrosia for Heads. Big shout out to Reggie. Big shout out to Jake. 1 second applause. Home team, Ambrosia for Heads. And they had an hour and a half conversation that's wide-ranging and really deep and really dope. So I'm going to talk about a couple of things here that I found really interesting. The broader takeaway from this conversation is just the maturity and the growth that Redman has experienced over his career, which he details at a very granular level. You know, I'm not sure if I've seen a revealing interview with Redman in this way yet. So everybody's a Redman fan. You should definitely check this out. So, but there's a couple of things I think are really interesting. One, we've been on this conversation about regional rap and regional sounds. And I think Kendrick has been leading the charge with that with GNX, obviously. And to a degree, Joey Badass with The Rulers Back, he's been a part of that conversation too. I think he's trying to restore that feeling, that competitive nature in New York. And New York, in my opinion, has sacrificed its regional sound a long time ago. They've traded it in. But regional opportunities for artists who make music that's representative of where they're from, is something I've been looking for. Let's see where this lives. Redman actually did that on Jersey. Jersey's a big club state. Jersey House has been a thing. Jersey Bounce. I mean, the whole thing with Jersey, the club scene, the ballroom scene, a lot of different sounds are representative of Jersey itself, and Redman leaned into them on this record. So here's what he talked about. Here's how he talked about it.
So a lot of people fuck with Jersey, but some hip hop heads that wanted to hear bars, even though I have bars on it, they like, yeah, Jersey ain't that hip hop, but I ain't do it for those guys. I did it for Jersey, like the state of Jersey, the momentum of Jersey. Jersey is a club state. Newark, New Jersey is a club city. Before rap got popular there, it was all about club. All about club. And I wanted to dedicate that part of my music to Jersey. It's a great beat. Rockwaller produced the beat. And when I first heard that beat, I was like, yo, it's dope. But I didn't write to it right then and there. And then I had it, and it didn't just click. I was like, you know what? This got momentum. I'm going to dedicate this to Jersey. Because, gentlemen, like, I don't only do songs for the fans to relate to. I also do songs because I make majority of my money financially through shows. So, you know, me and my team, we like doing records that have impact. You know, we're not the guys that's going to sell out, 10,000 seaters, 5,000 seaters. You know, I'm vulnerable with that. I'm an underground dude. You know, I am in the major lights, but I'm an underground dude. So I get my bang for my buck through shows, going overseas doing shows, and in the States doing shows. And our shows be wow. Like our audience that we attracting, that the Redman brand attracting, they coming in like this. They're not coming in like this, with the chains and with the phones, and all the phones are over the place. Nobody is moving. Everyone is recording. No, that's not my shows. My shows is their phones is down in their pocket, and they're like this. They're ready to throw water. They're ready to jump. I can jump off my stage into them and get back on. Those are my fans. So I do music to have those records to have momentum in my shows. So Jersey is definitely going to be one of those that I am going to be proudly to perform in a show, especially when we have our events in Newark. I'm gonna be gladly to perform that song with my city. You know.
I love that. I love that. I mean, again, I think this also, his timing with that is really great too, because there is a lot of conversations around regional sounds, as I mentioned. And, you know, Reggie Noble, Redman is the pride of Newark, New Jersey. Super MC, super energetic, one of the best live shows consistently over 30 years, something like that. 1 second applause for doing it for Jersey. Home Jersey. Now, there's another part of this conversation that really jumped out to me as well. They asked him, Reggie and Jake asked him, who are his rap Avengers? Who are his rap Avengers? If Thanos is coming and he needed to assemble a team of MCs, lyricists, rappers, who is he bringing to the team? So let's take a listen to Redman's rap Avengers.
And, you know, let's say aliens came down and took over like Space Jam, and the only way we could beat them was through elite rapping. Like who are the Avengers you're gonna assemble to take on that challenge?
That's a great question, actually. That's a great evergreen question. You can ask that question. I mean, that's one of those questions that's like, who's your Mount Rushmore? Who's your top 5? This is a great flip on that. 1 second applause to that question, Reg.
I'm definitely sending Black Thought, Common.
I'm with those two already. Black Thought and Common. Common is, you know, he's got a Grammy nomination again this year. He's never stopped rapping at an elite level. And then Black Thought, obviously, arguably the greatest rapper of all time. Off to a good start.
I can hang in there. I can hang in there because MCing is not just one character. It is so many characters to be an MC. And I want a lot of artists, young artists especially, that be spitting bars. And I want y'all to hear this because it's so much more to being an MC than spitting a cute punchline all the time or just talking, just speaking from a street point of view to what you think people want to hear. And that's what put a lot of artists and MCs in a box, because they're pertaining to what people want to hear from them instead of feeding their soul from what they talk about to help people.
That's a great point. That's a great point. And that's something that extends way past just music, I would say. You know, a lot of times the audience doesn't know what they want until you give it to them. You know, it's like Henry Ford. Henry Ford was like, he's like, if I asked people what they wanted, they'd ask for a faster horse. They'd ask for a faster horse. So, you know, taking risks and leading an audience is also part of being an artist and truthfully part of being a leader.
I could do any kind of style, any kind of flow, and I've proven that. I'm not just talking about one thing. I'm not just talking about just smoking. Now my diverse of content of what I talk about have grown because, Jake, of what we talked about earlier, for me being vulnerable, transparent, and accountable. My
being vulnerable, transparent, and accountable. 1 second applause.
My vocabulary, my content of what I'm talking about have grown now because I can talk about more than just fucking bitches, fucking women. Sorry about that. I could talk more about just smoking and wilding out on the road. I could talk about healing. I could talk about different things. Plus, it comes with the territory of growing. So what you talk about, how you talk about it, the flows, your determination, your character, how you spit it, your body posture, your posture of your heart, how disciplined and how sensitive are you spitting these bars on helping people. It all comes into play, and Black Thought is one of those. Common Sense, one of those. J. Cole, one of those. I will send him in as an Avenger. Kendrick Lamar, one of those. I would send him in as an Avenger. Yeah.
That's a pretty good.
Me and Meth would, if they needed some aggressiveness and movement, I would send Red and Meth in there, and me and Ghostface and Ray in there on that end. Yes, I would send CL Smooth in as an Avenger. CL Smooth don't play.
CL Smooth don't play. 1 second applause.
And believe me, it's more of it, but I don't want to,
That's dope.
That's really interesting. I like that question quite a bit. Who would you send in as a rap Avenger? Leave your Avengers. The aliens came down on some Space Jam, and you had to put together a list of Avengers. Let me know in the comment section who you would select. I love that question quite a bit. So he said Black Thought, Common, J. Cole, Kendrick, Redman, Method Man, Ghostface, Raekwon. Those are the ones that he mentioned so far. I know that was an on-the-spot question, and we start having to listen now, and it gets kind of difficult. Let me know if there's anybody who stood out to you that he didn't mention. But one thing that he talks about here is accountability and vulnerability. And that part of the conversation, again, this is a very revealing conversation with Redman. He, in that part of the conversation, he also talks about being celibate for 2 years. Here's a clip.
My girl and I broke up maybe 3-4 years ago. I was going through such a shit divorce that lasted 7 years. That played a role in why it took so long to drop Muddy Waters as well. 7 to 8 years of straight court divorce. I had so much on my plate, and I actually fasted 2.5 years. No fucking, no smoking.
Wow.
Straight 2.5 years. And it was the best thing I could have ever done in my life. Celibacy, 2.5 years, no smoking, 2.5 years. And it was the best thing and believe me, I wanted to. I was fighting it. I was fighting. I was sweating. I was in my house going crazy because I lived alone. I live alone. So I was in my house going crazy. I was constantly talking to myself, me and God, and we just back and forth. You would think that it was people living in my house, how much I was talking to myself, but I made it. And it was the best thing I could have ever did in my life, Reggie and Jake. And it cleared out so much distractions. Now my reception is more clear now, and smoking to quit it is nothing for me now. Having no sex is nothing for me now, because it was all feeding the flesh. And that's basically how the world is turning now. We're feeding the flesh. We're feeding what's good for us, which is not maybe good for the soul and spirit. So once I did that, long story short, I was able to control how I move, what I like, what is not good for me, my soul, my mind. So anyone that's trying to just cut out something indefinitely, try a fast first, and then maybe try it with some friends so you can support each other along that road.
1 second applause. Yo, man, you gotta get your vices in check. The world is different. We all grow. We all have challenges one way or the other. And I'm really inspired by the way that Redman described that. You know, I've definitely gone through different periods of fasting, and then, you know, had my mind and priorities put in a different light. Another thing that he talks about in this conversation is how he taught himself how to edit and shoot video. So he is the one who did all of the content that they've released so far around this project, Muddy Waters 2. It's a really great look at Redman and all the things he's accomplished, but also all the things that he's worked on. I'll put a link in the description. Make sure you check it out. But let me know what stands out to you from this conversation. My name is Justin Hunt. Like and subscribe to the channel. Follow at The Company Man on everything. It's all happening.
Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. The mathematical breakdown of this mighty game of rap we in. It's boom bapping. Systematical culture views us radical, it's all happening. Shaking hands and dapping it. Life through the lens of hip hop, from trip hop to yes, yes, y'all. You don't stop, you don't stop. Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. It's all happening, yes, it's all happening. Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. It's all happening, yes, it's all happening.